Edward Daniels thought this would be just another missing person case. To detectives, one island, one patient who vanished from a locked room. But the moment the ferry left the mainland, Edward felt it, a weight in the air, like the whole place was holding its breath, waiting. It was 1954 when Edward Daniels and his new partner, Chuck All, arrived at the island, home to Ashecliffe Hospital for the criminally insane. The missing patient was Rachel Solando. She had somehow escaped from her cell, barefoot, in the middle of the night, the only clue. A cryptic note hidden in her room that read, "The Law of Four, who is 67. The warden met them at the dock. His handshake was firm, but his eyes cold. Behind him, the hospital loomed, barbed wire, iron gates, and guards with rifles. Edward and Chuck questioned the staff. Every answer felt rehearsed. Doctors swore Rachel couldn't have gone far. Nurses claimed they'd checked every inch of the grounds. But Edward noticed something strange. No one seemed genuinely worried. In Rachel's cell, he studied the window. No scratches on the frame, no broken glass. Whoever took her, or helped her leave, had done it without a trace. That note, the law of 4 inches, stayed in his mind. He didn't know why, but it felt personal. A violent storm hit that night, trapping everyone on the island. The search continued, but now, corridors were darker, shadows longer. A guard whispered to Edward when no one was watching, "If you want answers, ask about Ward C, the high-security block, the place they kept the most dangerous patients." Edward and Chuck managed to slip inside. The smell of damp stone filled the air. One inmate grabbed Edward's sleeve and hissed, "You're not here to find her. You're here to find yourself." Before Edward could ask what he meant, the guards pulled them out. The next morning, Rachel Solando was found, sitting in the hospital, calm, sipping tea, as if she had never left. She claimed she'd been hiding in a lighthouse and that the doctors were experimenting on patients. The staff insisted she was delusional, but Edward felt a chill. The lighthouse, he'd been told it was off limits. That night, Edward decided to go. The wind battered him as he crossed the rocks. Inside, the lighthouse was empty. No patients, no experiments. Just a single chair, bolted to the floor. And then, footsteps. Dr. Cully appeared in the doorway, calm, smiling. He told Edward a story about a man who had committed an unspeakable crime, a man who had invented a fantasy life to escape the truth. But Edward wasn't listening to the details. He was studying Cully's face. There was no fear, no concern, just control. Later, sitting in the ward, Edward's mind raced. Rachel's escape, the missing records, the way Chuck, his partner, kept disappearing at odd times. The words from the inmate echoed in his head, "You're here to find yourself." Edward began to suspect something he couldn't yet say out loud. Maybe this wasn't about Rachel at all. Maybe they had brought him here for a reason. He looked over at Chuck, who caught his gaze, and for just a second, it was like Chuck knew exactly what Edward was thinking. "One more day," Edward whispered to himself. "One more day, and I'll know the truth." The door creaked shut. Edward stood, eyes fixed on the path toward the part of the island they told him never to go. And for the first time, he wasn't sure if he was chasing the truth, or if the truth had been chasing him all along. Edward stood face to face with Dr. Cully, the island's weight pressing down, heavy as a storm about to break. The doctor's eyes were steady, calm ... and filled with a chilling certainty. "You're not who you think you are, Edward. You're a patient here. Trapped in your own mind, struggling to escape a reality too painful to face." Edward's heart thundered. Was this the truth, or just another carefully crafted lie?